Oh boy, I think I'm finally dug out. It's been about 3 days. Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer Cars. So I just pulled all this out of my trunk. I've got my new speed power module removed from the vehicle, as you saw in a previous video. These are all my gas receipts, some technology stuff, some charge cables, and spare change, because I have officially traded in my Mark 7 2015 Volkswagen GTI Autobahn. The top trim for Canada. The only thing I did not have was leather and navigation with park distance control. Other than that, this was the fully spec'd vehicle. So I no longer own this as of tomorrow. I am trading it in. And I thought we could go over a couple things about it before it's no longer mine, as I'm just clearing stuff out of it. So this car has been very good to me. I've had it for 4.5 years. I leased it in summer 2014. July 2014 is when I first got this vehicle. It was the brand new Mark 7 just on the market, and I was one of the first owners in the Ottawa area to get one. The reason why I leased it was because it is a brand new platform. It had never been made before, so I wanted to make sure that it didn't have any major flaws with it. But then at the end of those 3 years, I liked it so much, and I had way under my allowed kilometers. I was allowed 60,000 kilometers on this, and I only put on 36,000. So that shows you how much I drive per year. I pretty much work at home and just drive for leisure, so I put approximately 12,000 kilometers on the vehicle per year, just running errands and doing fun stuff and the necessities of getting around. So this is the state of the interior after 58,915 kilometers. The seats are held up very well. I did the equivalent of a Scotch Guard on these, and that keeps the water stains away, but I did notice some this is kind of gross, but I did notice some things like food stains get into the material. When I originally bought this vehicle, I was wondering, how are these going to hold up? Because these are very high bolstered and getting in and out. So it's got a little bend to it, but overall they held up very well. Considering how many times you ingress and egress a car, I feel like those held up very well. As for reliability, I didn't have any breakdowns with this vehicle at all. I changed the oil. I did the brake fluid flush at after the 2-year mark. You're supposed to flush out your brake fluid and then do it every 3 years after that. That's a maintenance item. So really I've only ever done the required maintenance and oil changes on this vehicle. That's it. It hasn't had to be taken in for any other problems other than recalls. I have both the low pressure fuel pump and the high pressure fuel pump replaced on this car, and I just drove it. So I drove it up to, we're approaching 60,000 kilometers, and what it needs right now is brakes. They're well aware that it needs brakes. It needs rotors bad the most, because rust. And I rust proof this thing every spring and every fall with my Rust Cure 3000 spray, but the brakes are exposed, and with the friction it just eats them up. So this is the Volkswagen 2-liter turbo. It puts out approximately 210 horsepower stock. The turbo is right back in here. It is completely out of warranty now, because Volkswagen warranty at the time when I bought this was only 3 years, 60,000 kilometers warranty, comprehensive, and then powertrain was 4 years, 80,000. They've since bumped that up, but yeah, this car needs some maintenance stuff, which is no longer my problem. So I am going to make a future video about cost of ownership for this Mark 7 GTI, and I think it worked out favorably for me, and I will talk about that in a future video. I'll go over some of the numbers of the money that I put into it and the money that I'm getting back out of it selling it, and then what I'm putting that towards. And I want to be able to show you things about this car before I no longer have it. There are a list of tweaks that I've done to this vehicle with VCDS tuning, or you can also do that now through OBD11. So check out my OBD11 videos, because there is a multitude of car tweaks that you can do to these vehicles that makes them by and far one of the greatest things for me as a tech geek. I love that. The CAN bus system in these cars to do whatever I want within reason. So I can get things like having double brake lights with the 2 lights in the back. I can get things like having the double signals. Let me show you that. People coded it so that the daytime running light, the UDRLs, stay on but dim half brightness. When this is stock, when you put your signal on, that UDRL goes out completely. For the inside tweaks, I've done a multitude of things. There's probably about a dozen things in total that I've done. I did driving school mode. I added fan speed in auto. Normally you don't get a fan speed indicator when you're in auto mode. I've added heated seat retention so that it remembers your heated seat setting when you turn on and off the car. I have added remote control windows from the key fob. That's something that we don't get in North America because they're afraid of people, like, I don't know, pinching their fingers in the windows or something, but I can now put up and down my windows with my key fob, as well as open and close the roof with the key fob. I've enabled so that when the vehicle is running, you can still use the buttons on the key fob. They're a bunch of creature comforts that are disabled in our North American markets. Things of that nature. Yeah, that's an overview of my Mark 7 GTI. I'm sure once I no longer have it, I'm going to think of things that that I should have showed you that I didn't. But I have been making videos on this car on and off for the past 4+ years, so I do have a back catalog of everything about this car. I will make a playlist, and if you happen to be the person who buys this car, you'll get to see all the things that it's been through, and really none of them are bad. Minor computer tweaks, some minor power mods, none of it voided warranty. This vehicle has been approved for certified pre-owned ownership at VW. I just got the computer scan back today. So I had to take the car into Volkswagen and have them scan the ECU and some to make sure that it has never been chip tuned. And this car's never been chip tuned. So I explained why I did that in my new speed power module removal video, because if you chip tune these cars now, Volkswagen is like, no, we will not resell it as a certified pre-owned vehicle, which really tanks the resale value for a trade-in. And the only way I would be able to get the value out of it that I'm getting from the dealership is to sell it privately. I would have had to fix all those little things that are wrong with it, the brakes, would have had to get it certified myself, and then I would have had to deal with, you know, teenagers wanting to buy a GTI that have no money. So I did not want to deal with that. The other advantage thing about trading in a vehicle in Ontario is that the value that they give you for the vehicle, you do not pay tax on, because they assume you've already paid off that tax. That's irregardless if you still have a lien on the car, you still have money owing on it because you were charged that tax already once. It's the way to get around that. Versus if you buy and sell used cars, you get hit with the taxes every single time. And man, the government must make so much money on that. If a car changes hands 10 times in its lifetime, the government makes the full value of the tax on that every single transaction. That's crazy. Okay guys, so this is my 2015 Mark 7 Volkswagen GTI, and the next video will be the collection of my new car. Okay guys, if you enjoyed this or you learned something, hit that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching.